Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wigging It with Bobby Z. It's a Wiki Weavy Wednesday, and it's not a tutorial, but I will be talking about hair. First things first, I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to do a Friday video. Did I just say sorry? Have I been watching Degrassi? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to make a video on Friday. As I said to you guys last week, Forbidden Broadway started up again, and I was sick, so I kind of got lost in the shuffle, and there were like 7 or 8 orders I had to send out that I forgot to do, and I forgot to make a video, and I was just so concerned with Forbidden Broadway and getting all those wigs done and everything. And I love everyone over there, but it can be a little bit disorganized. You know, it's whatever, and they paid me, so it's fine. So that was first things first. Second, first things first, RuPaul's Drag Race is now back, everybody. I know it's Wednesday, so everyone's blogs are already going to be posted on Tuesday or late Monday night if they're crazy people. I would love to do like a RuPaul's Drag Race recap blog for everybody, but that would require me to do 3 videos a week, and I have no time or patience kind of even to do 2 these days because I'm so busy. So that's not going to happen. So I guess I'll just put a little like 30-second blurb at the beginning of my Wednesday videos. I don't know. So what did you guys all think? Let me know. Put some comments down below. What did you guys think about the new girls this season? I think it's kind of cool that they're doing the half and half this year because you can get to know the girls a little better than before. It's like they all just kind of fade into the background before. It's the same thing with Face Off. When the first episode of Face Off airs, they show like a picture of all of their makeup, and it's like I can't sit here and learn their personality or learn what they can do by a picture. As of right now, from the first group, I'm living for Ben Delacreme. I am living for her, basically because she is everything and exactly what I want Bernadette to be in my head. Like, that is, when I think of myself in drag, I think of Ben Delacreme. So that's why I'm rooting for her, and I'm also going to root for my girl Bianca, because I'm excited to see all the hair that girl brings, because her wigs are flawless. That was first and second, first things first. Oh, today's video was actually an idea brought to me by the lovely Miss Tatiana Steele. She's a drag queen here in the city. Hey, girl! She said, hey, have you ever done a video about wig color numbers? Is there any rhyme or reason to them? What does it mean? And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea, and I wouldn't have to drag anything out for a tutorial, and I could probably make that in like a short amount of time. Why not? I'll do a wig color video explanation 101 thing. Wig colors 101. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I'll figure it out when I post the video. I'm sure as you guys all notice, if you've checked out my website or any other website that sells wigs, for the most part, it doesn't say like platinum blonde, it doesn't say black, it doesn't say brown. It'll have numbers such as like 1, 2, 27, 33, 30, 613. You have all these different numbers. So it can be a little daunting if you don't know what the numbers mean. So now, first disclaimer of the whole video, disclaimer, is all wig lines are different. All wigs are different. So you can't rely on different styles and different brands to be an exact match. So that's my first little boop for you guys. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed that besides there being numbers for wig colors, there's also letters. So first, I think I'll go over what the letters mean so that you guys can better understand all of that. So you'll notice that if a wig is a solid color, like if it's a solid 4, it'll just say 4. Sometimes you'll see there'll be several colors put together and there'll be letters in between, or there'll be slashes in between them and everything. That just means that it's a blend. For example, a wig that is a P27/613, the P means piano, which means that there's going to be even streaks of both colors. So it's going to be 27, 613, 27, 613, 27, 613. P stands for piano, like piano keys. There's also what's called a frost, which is an F 27/613, which would basically be 27, 613, 613, 613, 27, 613, 613, 613. The frost just means that it's a frost. It's not a piano. It's not a full blend. It's just little tiny little sprinkles. throughout. For the most part, in my experience, the color that is the first color is the most dominant color in the wig. So for example, the Kim and the Holiday and the Champagne wigs that I've sold on my website in the past, I'm restocking them right now, I'm sorry you guys. Those wigs are a T27/613, which means that it's a 27 on the top, and then it fades into tipped 613 on the bottom. So it's basically an ombre sort of color. So other letters such as F, SP, or M. So from what I understand, from my experience, M and SP mean that it's a mix. So it's a blend. So if you get a 27/613, it's not going to be color blocked. It's going to be evenly blended. So it's going to be a blend of the two colors. Such as the Kim or the Sophia wig I carried, which was an FS8/27/613. I believe the S means surface. I could be wrong, because there's other wigs where the highlights go all the way through it. But in the Kim FS8/27/613, the 613 highlights are only on the top surface area, and then the rest of the wig is the 8 and 27. So I'm assuming that that is what the S stands for in the FS8 is. I don't know, this kind of sounds like a bad math lesson to me. I hope you guys are following me with all of this. Since I look at fake hair all the time, I can look at a wig and know pretty much what color it is. Some of the rarer blonde and brown kind of colors kind of can get me. But for the most part, I can look at a wig and say that's a 1, that's a 27, etc., etc. That's just because it's what I do for a living. I look at it all day, so I can judge. Almost every wig company out there has what's called a color ring. This is the ring from the West Bay company. They own the line Sepia, which I carry on my website. They are a wholesale-only website, so unless you have a business license, you can't purchase from them directly. Something you guys want that you know Sepia makes that I don't carry, I can always get it for you. So if you want something, info@bobbypins.com and we'll talk. I do have my color ring handy. I also have pulled about 10 or 12 wigs that are just kind of an example of the most common colors you're going to come across in wigs. So this is the fantasy color section of the color ring from Sepia. So these are pretty much self-explanatory. Orange, green, purple, pink, white. A lot of times companies will say that a white is a 1001, and they also will say that it's a 60. So a 60 and a 1001 pretty much are white. Sometimes they'll be more blonde, sometimes they'll be more platinum. Like I said, every line is different, so you kind of have to check and you kind of have to kind of give yourself the possibility that it's not going to match perfectly. So that being said, real colors. This one is a little more brown. That's because this is a 1 and this is the 1B. So a 1B is off black and a 1 is a solid black. This was a stepmother into the woods that I've rented out to a friend. I haven't gotten a chance to take her down and wash her yet. And then this is just a short little black thing that I have. So these are each black, but as you can see, this one is a little more brown than this one. So this one would be a 1, and this one would be a 1B. Why is my phone ringing? I don't really know what the B means, so don't ask me. Next is 2, 4, and 6, which are the dark brown colors. For some reason, my 4 is missing, but I have a 4 pulled to show you guys. A 4 is a shade that's in between this, which is a 2, and this, which is a 6. So a 4 is a dark brown that's in between those two colors. 2 is so close to a 1B and a 4, it's kind of like, I don't need to show you every single color. So this is what a 4 looks like here, and then this is a 6. So you can see that this is much lighter. I mean, this is longer, but even if I put them next to each other, you can see that this is a shade lighter than this. So this is a 4, and this is a 6. Usually I find that darker colors for the most part, like a 2, a 4, a 6, etc., they're usually warm. You can occasionally find an ash, darker color brown, but I find that most of the time they're warm. So you guys can see, granted, my window shades are open a little bit just so I can get a little more light in here for you guys to see these things and make me look transparent like a ghost. But I think that the color looks better if I have the blinds open a little bit. You'll see there's a lot of warmth in these. They kind of look red on my screen right now, but as you can see by my hair being red, they're not red. They're just a warm, nice chocolate brown sort of color. Okay, so now we're going to get into the more less common color part of the ring. It's kind of like the middle of the ring for some reason. A lot of companies don't carry many options in this color. I don't see a lot of these colors out and about. I mean, I can order them, but if I just go to a wig store and say, hey, I need something in a 16, they kind of look at me like I'm weird. So this is the middle portion of the ring, which here is colors 8 through 24, which is basically just the medium light browns, the dark blondes, and the ash blondes is kind of where this starts. So this is a number 8, which is just sort of a brown kind of color. And then a little lighter than that would be a 10, which is this guy here. And then here is a 12, which is, again, a little lighter than that. And then you go another shade lighter than that, and you have a 14. And a 16. And an 18. It's a little darker, but this is an ash brown. This is definitely ash compared to the other ones. And then you get into a 22 and a 24. A 22 and a 24 are actually two of my favorite shades to use in wig design for the stage, because oftentimes a 613 will look white on stage under lights. So I find that if I use a 22 or a 24 on stage, it still looks platinum and beautiful, but it doesn't give you that white, harsh, really fake looking effect. I don't have examples for all of these, especially for the blonde colors. Blondes are always so different from brand to brand. So for me to pull something and be like, this is an 18, you guys are going to be like, well, that's not what my 18 looks like. So I figured I would just stick to stuff that was kind of set in stone, stuff that's pretty much the same across the board, and use that as examples. Next is like the reds and the strawberry blonde kind of colors, which of course are my favorite. We have a 27, which is this, which is a nice solid strawberry blonde kind of color. Then you have what's called a 27S, which in this particular brand, their 27S is a little more orange. As you can see, it's the bottom swatch here. It's a little more orange than their 27. Most companies just have a solid 27. They don't even bother with 27S because they are so close. You just have to see kind of what the undertone is. If it has more of a green yellowy undertone, then it's more of a 27S than a traditional 27. Next is a 30, which is just like a nice auburn kind of brown red kind of color. And then you have a 33, which is more of a darker burgundy brown, but it still has that warmth of it. And then you have a 130, which is a hot, bright red. This looks kind of orange on the swatch against my real hair, but this is very red. I also find some companies will have either a 130 or they'll have a 350. Most companies don't have both. The colors are almost identical to each other. A 130 and a 350 are pretty much interchangeable. They're pretty much the same thing, depending on the company. So let me show you guys some examples. So this wig here is the best example I have of a 27. Reds, I have to make the camera a little darker. So this is the 2730 blend here. It looks pretty much like a 27S on camera right now, but there is a lot of that low light in here. You just kind of can't, it doesn't read on camera. This was actually my Adele wig from So You Think You Can Drag. So if you guys saw pictures or video of that, that's a 2730 right there. So that's this. So this color here is a 30, which is just a darker, less vibrant, warm brown color. So you can see here the difference between the 2730 and the 30. So this is what the low light in this is. Now that I have them next to each other, you can see it picking up the low light in here from this. This gorgeous color here, which this isn't a hairnet, sorry. I've only used it once, it's new, it still has the original set, and I want to kind of keep it pretty. So you can see here the difference between the 30 and the 33. The 30 is more of a brown sort of strawberry color, whereas the 33 is definitely much darker, more of a burgundy undertone to it, but it's still brown. I love 33. A 350 or a 130, which is this guy here. So this is a whole bunch of red in one shot. Boom! So this was a big French twist I did for a dance concert like a year ago. You guys saw it on Instagram. I'm just scared to take them all down because this is all teasing. There's nothing else in there. That's no rats or anything. That's all good old-fashioned teasing, and this wig is about halfway down the back, so that's a lot of hair. The 130/350 here is just a very, very, very bright, vibrant red, whereas this is more of a muted burgundy, undertoned brown color. And then you have everyone's favorite, which is a 613 Platinum Blonde, which is this guy right here. So this is a 613. To me, this is what a 613 is. It's still blonde, it's not too buttery, it's not too white, and it's not closer to like a 22 or a 24. This to me is a solid 613. Like I said, some company 613s will be pure butter yellow. Some company 613s will be pretty much white. It all depends on the company. You kind of have to be careful. This is a solid ash color of some sort. I don't even know what this is. All of those letters and everything. So I figured I'd show you guys an example. Now, both of these wigs are a 27/613. But like I said, sometimes there's not a lot of 613 and sometimes there's not a lot of 27. So this one here, this is a human hair wig. It's really ratty and gross looking right now because it's been in a drawer. But this to me is what a 27/613 is. This is even numbers of 27 and even amounts of 613 blended together. There is some streaking in the top, but it's not quite a piano and it's not quite a frost. It's kind of like in between them. I think this blend is very, very pretty. But then sometimes you'll buy a 27/613 and it'll look like this, which this against this, these are two completely different things. This is predominantly 613 with a tiny little sprig of 27 here in the front and along the bottom, just a little tiny bit, whereas this is even numbers of both. So like I said, you guys kind of have to look and kind of see which is going which way. You guys have to like kind of just judge for yourselves. I kind of wish that it was easier than that and just be like, oh, well, just buy 27/613. It'll always look like this. But that's not the case. All wig brands are different. All wigs are different. All color lines are different. So I figured I would just do this little video to show you guys just a quick little example of what everything looks like a pink, a green, or a blue. It's best to ask the company or the wig store for an example of the color, because sometimes pink for one company is a pale baby pink, whereas another company, pink is hot pink, magenta, fuchsia color. So it's kind of, you have to be careful about what you're buying, and you need to get examples so you're not surprised later once you open it, because most places you can't return wigs to anyway. And also, if you guys have noticed on my website, I have some colors that I just call like pale blonde frost or golden blonde frost or dark golden blonde. Those colors are just a color from a manufacturer that is just a completely random number, like SPTFH894.5.7. Like, it's just like stupid amounts of numbers, and a lot of companies have wigs that are like that. Companies will have a color that is very specific to their line or a color that's very specific to a wig. A lot of times those colors will just be a random amount of numbers and letters kind of strewn together, no rhyme or reason. It's one of those things that you have to see a swatch, or you have to see a picture, or you have to see it in front of you to know exactly what it is. I hope this video helped you guys out a little bit. I hope I explained it well enough for you guys to understand. I'm sorry I didn't have examples for all the colors out there because there's so many, and I can't possibly sit here and explain every single different color of different line to you guys, because that would just take like 3 days to film. So I hope you guys understood all of this. I hope you guys learned something. Be sure to check out all my fun social media stuff down in the box. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, ideas for a future video, or if you'd like to commission me for a custom wig or a piece or a price quote or anything like that, my email is also down in the box. It's also info@bobbypins.com. Also check out my web shop, bobbypins.com. I have A couple things still on clearance. I'm going to start getting some new stock in soon, so more things probably will get moved to the clearance. It's just wigs that I've had for a long time that just haven't been moving, and I occasionally will drop the price 10 or 15 bucks every couple weeks just to kind of get them moving and get them out and get room for new stock. So be sure to check out all the fun stuff in the box. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if I get around to making a Friday video this week, which I hope I will see you guys on Friday. If not, I'll see you next week for another Wiggy Weavy Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you all so much. Have a great week. Bye.